Okay, real quick. Think about the last time you signed up for something free. Maybe it was a streaming service, a meal kit delivery, a meditation app, a VPN, or some online course platform. You punched in your card details, told yourself, I'll cancel before it charges me, and moved on with your day. Now, tell me honestly, did you actually cancel it? Because statistically speaking, most people didn't. And what's wild is that it wasn't laziness that stopped you. It was something a whole lot more interesting than that. And by the end of this video, you're going to see free trials completely differently and probably open your banking app with fresh eyes. My name's Ben, and I spend way too much time thinking about the small, invisible money leaks that nobody talks about, but everybody has. If you're someone who's genuinely trying to get better with money, saving more, wasting less, building something real, make sure to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if it helps you out. All right, let's get into it. Here's the thing. When most people think about fixing their finances, they think big. They think, I need a better job, I need to invest in stocks, I need to cut out coffee. And look, sure, those conversations matter, but there's this entire category of financial drain that flies completely under the radar, and it's doing real damage month after month. Free trials. Now, I know what you're thinking. Ben, this is obvious. I know about free trials. But stay with me, because the numbers here are genuinely surprising. A 2022 study by C+R Research found that the average American spends around $219 per month on subscription services. And here's the kicker. When people were asked to estimate what they spend, the average guess was $86. That's a gap of over $130 every single month. Every single month. That's $1,560 a year that people are spending but don't even know they're spending. Now, do the math on that over 5 years, and if you'd invested that $130 a month instead into something that returned a fairly modest 7% annually, that's somewhere in the neighborhood of $9,000. Not life-altering money, but that's a solid emergency fund. That's a down payment contribution. That's not nothing. Here's what most people don't realize, and this is the part I find genuinely fascinating. This isn't about being irresponsible with money. It's about how free trials are specifically engineered to exploit the way your brain processes value and time. Let me explain. When you sign up for a free trial, your brain does something called future discounting. It's a real psychological phenomenon. Basically, costs that happen in the future feel significantly less painful than costs happening right now. So when you're signing up, the potential charge feels abstract, distant, almost fake. The value you're getting right now, the streaming show, the workout app, the audiobook, that feels completely real and immediate. So your brain makes a bad trade and doesn't even realize it. Then there's something called the sunk cost of attention. Once you've used a service even once, watched one show, completed one workout, read one article, you've invested something, not money, but time. And psychologically, that feels like a reason to keep it, even when you're barely using it, even when it's costing you $14.99 a month. And the companies designing these systems, they know all of this. The free trial model isn't generosity. It's a conversion strategy with an incredibly high success rate. This is where it gets really interesting. Let me walk you through how these systems are actually designed to make sure you forget. Most free trials run for either 7, 14, or 30 days. That timeline is chosen deliberately. 7 days is just long enough for you to use the service, but short enough that cancellation gets buried under everything else in your week. 14 days straddles 2 pay cycles, which mentally anchors the service to your routine before the charge ever hits. And 30 days, by the time that first charge appears on your statement, you've psychologically accepted the service as part of your life. The reminder email, when it comes at all, usually arrives with 24 to 48 hours left, not enough time for most people to act during a busy work week. And the cancellation process itself is often intentionally complicated. There's a study from 2021 by researchers at Princeton that actually coined the term dark patterns to describe user interface designs that make it harder to cancel than to sign up. Steps that should take 1 click take 5. Screens that say, "Are you sure you'll lose all your progress?" Buttons that are conveniently grayed out or hard to find. And look, I'm not saying every company is malicious, but the financial incentive to retain subscribers is enormous, and the design reflects that. Now here's where it gets really uncomfortable. It's rarely just one trial. Think about the last 12 months of your life. How many free trials did you sign up for? Streaming services, news sites, software tools, fitness apps, cloud storage, recipe apps, password managers, productivity platforms? The average person interacts with dozens of these offers per year. Even if only 30% convert to paid subscriptions you forgot about, you could easily be sitting on 4, 5, or 6 subscriptions that are quietly charging you right now for things you don't actually use. Run this quick mental exercise. Grab your most recent bank or credit card statement. Not from memory. Actually open it. Look for recurring charges, especially small ones, between $4.99 and $19.99. Those are the ones that slide past your awareness because individually they feel too small to bother with. But 5 of those, that's potentially $75 to $100 a month that you approved without really approving. Here's something that doesn't get talked about enough. The cost of passive subscriptions isn't only financial. There's a mental load that comes with owning services you don't use, a low-grade background guilt. I should use that app. I'm paying for that and never logging in. That cognitive weight is real, and it contributes to financial avoidance, that feeling where managing money feels so overwhelming that you just don't. And avoidance is one of the most expensive financial habits a person can have. All right, so here's the practical side. No complicated system needed. First, do the audit. Open your statements, bank, and every credit card and filter for recurring charges. Write them down, all of them. Seeing them in one place is important because your brain needs to process the total, not just the individual amounts. Second, apply a simple rule going forward. When you sign up for any free trial, immediately, right then, before you close the tab, set a calendar reminder for 2 days before the trial ends. Not a mental note, an actual calendar event that says cancel this or pay for it. That one habit alone closes most of the gap. And finally, and this one is underrated, use a virtual card number for trials when your bank offers them. Several banks and credit card providers offer temporary card numbers that you can disable with 1 click. No cancellation process needed. The charge simply won't go through. And finally, after your audit, take whatever you've been spending on subscriptions you don't use and redirect that amount, even half of it, somewhere intentional. A high-yield savings account, an investment account, whatever makes sense for where you are financially. The point is to make the money active instead of passive. Here's the honest truth. No single subscription is probably going to derail your finances, but the habit of passive spending, of agreeing to costs without really deciding, that habit compounds. And the opposite is also true. The habit of knowing where your money goes, of making small, active decisions, that compounds too. You don't need to be perfect with money. You just need to be slightly more intentional than you were yesterday. Go open that bank statement. See what you actually find. You might surprise yourself. If this video was useful, share it with someone you think is probably paying for something they forgot about, because honestly, that's most of us. I'll see you in the next one.